What's the goal today with your draft picks?
Well, I would just say everybody, it's the first day of the process. There's so much to learn. So just get better day by day. There's a lot of information that's given to these players. We'll come out here, we'll have a short practice. We'll do some individual. Some guys will do some 7-on-7. You know, there's tryout guys here, a bunch of them. There's UDFAs, there's free agents, there's a couple of our guys. So just get into the program and, you know, start swimming.
You didn't have the draft picks take a lot of reps last year. Is that going to be the kind of the plan today as well?
Yeah, I mean, they'll take reps in individual and things like that, but we'll kind of ease them in, get ready for phase 2 of the program, and learn some of the individual techniques, but not 7-on-7, other than Jaxson, like I said.
Coach, what does we always hear about quarterback development. What does that actually look like for a guy like Jaxson coming into a situation like this?
Yeah, it's really the same for every position. You know, these guys have a lot to learn. None of them have been out in an NFL practice. There's so much to learn. We'll take it day by day. We'll continue to give them information. You know, there'll be a lot of mistakes. We'll improve off those mistakes. We'll come out to the next practice, try to do a better job, and we'll do that with all our guys.
What changes to you in terms of analyzing Jaxson, right? Try to break him down, and now actually coaching him?
Yeah, I'd say it's the same for all these guys. You know, we went through all our process. We got the guys that we have right now. We're excited about them. Now there's a lot of work that goes into it. Lost some weight. We're good.
How much do you make?
Put that in the transcript.
What are you hoping to get out of those more reps from Jaxson?
Yeah, look, this is first practice, so there's going to be mistakes. You learn from the mistakes. You teach off of them. You come back the next day. You build off of it. There'll be some good things. There'll be some bad things. It's the first day camp. He hasn't thrown with any of these guys. He's calling plays, you know, in our system for the first time. But it's same as all the other positions. They got a lot to learn.
What do you make about the clapping, the snap count, the cadence?
I mean, most every college does that. I mean, I did it when I was at Alabama in 2017, and I think Hurts and Tua are doing a good job of cadences in the league. So,
but I mean, you have to teach them that from scratch. Like, is that something you try to like? Is this weekend maybe something
cadence?
you focus on with him because he hasn't done it a lot?
No, I mean most college guys haven't done it. I would say most of them are. You know, you clap. And when I first went to,
but they're not here, and you're not.
When I went to
them.
Well, I'm trying to answer your question. So when I first went to Alabama, look, I didn't know anything about clapping. There's SEC stadiums, you can't hear in them. I'm like, how is this going to work? But you hear it, and then again, any of these new players, quarterbacks, free agent quarterbacks, first round, like most of them haven't done a cadence. But I mean, it's not too hard to learn a cadence. You know, you say a couple words, voice inflection, you continue to learn from that. But I wouldn't say it's like rocket science to learn a cadence.
Brian, you said Dart hasn't thrown at any of these guys, but he actually
Yeah, you got me, Ryan. You got me.
Well, I was just going to ask Juice
Way to be
Wells.
on top of your game.
Thank you.
Okay.
But I was just going to ask Juice Wells being here and Reese McIntyre as a tryout.
Yeah.
How much of that is to help Jaxson be familiar with, hey, you've thrown to this guy and you've snapped with this guy?
Well, we thought Wellsy was good. You know, George McDonald, receiver coach down there, that had worked with me at Cleveland. You know, I had a lot of good conversations with him throughout the process. He's a good player. That's why he's here. But it's always helpful when you have, you know, a quarterback has some familiarity with some of the guys that he's played with.
Dave, how much do you talk about
Center, yeah.
You talk about how every year the process changes. How much are you tweaking the process for getting Jaxson ready this year as opposed to maybe what you've done in the past?
Yeah, I'd say just with any young player, Patty, you're doing everything you can to. Again, there's a long list of things that you have to go through with all these players. Quarterback is a particularly hard position mentally. We're going to put everything we got into it. I know he will too. And there'll be some struggles and there'll be some good things, and that's what you learn from. You know, but excited to work with him.
There's a lot of drama about Carter's number. Did you have any discussions with him about that, or where he was going to land with that?
Yeah, he'll wear 51. Mm-hmm. So I'm more concerned about the player and improving him. So that's what number he's in, 51.
You reported that Victor tore his pec. Is that something that puts the season in jeopardy?
Yeah, in terms of the injuries, I'm not going to get into injuries where we're at. You know, he's still here, working, doing the things he can do.
You guys didn't do much this offseason to the top of your receiver room. Is that because you're comfortable with the top four? And obviously, Gabe Davis is a free agent. You're very familiar with him. Is that something you'd be interested in pursuing?
Yeah, I'd say these guys that we've had here are working their tails off. I mean, we signed Slay back, so I mean, I know it's the same guy, but we brought him back, and guys have been working good. We'll always look to improve our roster any way we can, but these guys have had a good couple weeks in phase 2 with Russ and Jameis there.
Oh, they've been picking up everything
Good.
so far.
Yeah,
What's
they've done a
what's
nice
that
job.
Experience been like working with them so far?
Yeah, veterans. They've done it for a while. I think there's a good comfort level with giving them the play call, them controlling the huddle. Again, we're not going against the defense right now, but the communication process has been good. The timing, they're working on the timing with the players that they're throwing to. But they've been 2 good additions for us.
What's been your message to the tryout guys, considering this is a unique
Yeah.
situation, and you've had guys?
Yeah, I showed them a couple clips of Ryder and Chat today. The play in Houston where he hustled down and made the play, then a sack against Cleveland, Ryder against the Jets in the preseason, another sack against Washington. Again, this is an opportunity for them. It's hard because you're not throwing guys to the ground. Our coaches go back. I have the coaches go back and watch tape of the tryout guys that are coming in, so you get a feel for what they look like on tape, and then you evaluate how their movement skills are, how they pick things up. Is there a guy that maybe deserves an opportunity? A tough challenge, with the amount of guys that we have here, but that's why we do it the way we do it. If you can find one guy that makes the active roster, or you can put on the practice squad, it's worth however many you bring in. So they're excited. I know they're probably pretty anxious. We just had a walkthrough out there. They've done a nice job. So that's how we do it.
When you
Russ and Jameis, how's their grasp of the playbook?
Sorry.
Russ and Jameis, how's their grasp of the playbook coming?
Good. Yep.
when you evaluated, you get in the process of evaluating all these guys, and you don't know if you're going to get them. Now you have draft picks in. Do you kind of look through their eyes sometimes when they come in here for the first time? You've been through this a lot. When you're looking around and looking at the locker room and seeing this and seeing that, all that stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot for these young men. They're leaving home. I know they've been in college, but there's a lot of different circumstances. There's stress to them. They're probably pretty anxious. You just do a good job. This camp is just, hey, you get to know us, we get to know you. Let's not go too far ahead. There's going to be mistakes. Those are okay. Let's build off of them. Let's be ready to get into our program here in a couple days. But let's not make more out of it than it is. Our job is to kind of acclimate them to how we do things, and that'll take a while. But I like the guys we got.
Since you're using mostly the tryouts guys in the 7-on-7s, is it just really conceptually and not really using your stuff as far as what they're running?
I'd say it's pretty basic. There's a few little things in here, but you also do things to see if they can pick it up quick, if they can adjust, who can do that, who can't do that. It's an evaluation part of it too, but are we 10 for 12? Like, I'm not really. It's the first day or even the next day. We're just, again, it's such an introductory part of it. But there's some reasons why we do some things for evaluation purposes.
But even if Jackson is out there in some of the 7-on-7, he's not necessarily running your playbook, and you're not testing his knowledge.
No, he's running our playbook. We're putting some plays in, I would say, just to go back. Some of it is cadence that he hasn't done. We're not going to use the clap today. We're going to use cadence. So this is the first time he'll be out there and doing our stuff. And there's a reason to try to get him in there and just kind of get adjusted to hearing the play call from the walkie-talkie, getting in there, calling the play, not just running no huddle, using the cadence. That's why we're doing it.
When you do mix him and integrate Jaxson with the veterans after this week, is your goal to just have him sit back and watch, or do you want him to get on the field and actually get a lot of reps, throughout the spring, pumping up?
Yeah, we'll take care of rookie camp here. We'll have a plan for him once we get to spring.
I know there's a lot of questions here on cadence, but when it comes to Jackson,
You got one onto it?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. When it comes to Jackson figuring out his specific one, what he likes, how much freedom will he have? How much input? Your guys like Andrew Luck or Rodgers, they took a lot of pride in what they were able to come up with.
Yeah, it's a weapon for a quarterback. Fortunately, we have Russ, who's done it for a long time, and Jameis, and you try to let the younger guys, even like DeVeeks, hear those guys, and you try to make it as similar as you can, because now they're in with different linemen. You don't want one cadence to sound like something. So those quarterbacks do a good job in the room of trying to get it to sound like the guy that's running it. So, Russ is running it. He's got a certain style of cadence. We kind of work off him. We'll say it together. Hey, you're a little bit off on this rhythm. So he'll have, he'll be in there with those older guys and, learn how to do it. But, he did walk through, again, I wouldn't say it's rocket science to give a cadence. There is an art to it, and the really, really good ones are exceptional at it. So we'll work with him on it.
Coach, with Abdul, are you?
Yeah.
You talked a lot about his versatility when you drafted him. Are you going to move him around right away, or are you going to let him start in one place and get comfortable and go?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's so early right now. He's just learning the beginning stages of playbook. We'll do whatever we think is best for the team.
He's an edge rush. He's in the outside linebackers room now.
Yes. Yep.
The Giants released their behind-the-scenes video of draft night tonight. We saw how anxious Joe was around pick 18 about getting Jaxson Dart. Can you tell us what your emotions were as you were waiting to see if you would be able to make that trade? Were you nervous? Were you anxious? Like, I want my guy?
No, I think, look, Joe does a great job with that. He's, there's a lot of people in that room working phone calls. A lot of things can happen. There's been a lot of things that happened in my, years in the league. And, Joe had a good feel for things, like I said, the day after it or the day of. Different things can happen in the draft, but I thought Joe did a really good job.